Okay, my friends, we are back again with another Northland power unit, and the customer just sent this to me. I'm going to show you what's wrong with it. We have a broken timer here, and you can see by the coloration of this, it's been running hot. And here's the broken part right here. I don't know if this happened during shipping or not, but customer instructed me to replace the timer, which we have here, which is a 6-hour timer. We have a new evaporator flow motor too, WR60X203. We'll do that. He also asked me to change that. And so I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to show you what's going on. Okay, just start it up. I can hear the fan inside running. I'll check the amperage draw on the compressor. I'm drawing 1.7 amps. Okay, so the compressor is running. It's a fairly new unit, but you can see the condenser fan motor is not running. If I try to push it, it's got a tight bearing in it. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to put a sub-zero motor in here, because the sub-zero motor, the 420-0740 motor, it's a better motor. It's more expensive, but you eliminate the need to replace the mounting brackets, because on this motor it's got the mounting for four supports there. You can see it. So that's going to save us a lot of time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the condenser motor out, disconnect this, and I'm going to pull the condenser motor out and get this thing fixed up first, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're going to remove this screw right here, and there's two on the bracket up against that back wall there. You'll need a long extension on your ratchet, and the other one here. Okay, loosen those up. Okay, so once you get the screws out, you just have to kind of bend this condenser line out here out of the way so you can pull this up. Let's cut this cable tie here. Disconnect condenser fan motor wire. Right there. Okay, here you go. So we know it goes in like this, that you position this new motor so that the wire is either coming up on the top or the side. The first thing we're going to do is going to take off that Okay, so we're going to line up those holes just like that. That's the beauty of this motor. It saves you all the trouble of having to modify this bracketry here. And like I said before, it's more expensive motor, but it's a good motor. It's a Morel motor. And Sub-Zero's been using them for a long, long time, and they're just good motors, well made. As is all the Sub-Zero products. They're pretty good. They're on top of all that. You probably could save yourself a good hour trying to adapt the Whirlpool motor to this. This is just saving us a lot of time. All right, let me finish this up, and then we'll get back. Okay, so the Sub-Zero motor is, of course, it's the same voltage. The output is 2.3 watts. and the RPM is 1300. Now the old motor, and it's clockwise. The old motor is also clockwise. It is an 1100 RPM and 1.4 watts. So this is the Sub-Zero motor is a stronger motor, and it's a little faster. With a little bit more RPMs, you're getting a little bit more airflow. You won't notice it, you won't hear the difference, but it'll be a little bit better to keep the compressor cool and cool the condenser down. So let me go get my tool to remove this harness, and then we'll put those wires in there. Okay, so get this little tool here, remove these pins. Okay, so we're also going to replace this piece of insulation right here. They use this, look how it's all from the heat, it's just falling apart. So we'll put a piece of insulation around there before we button this whole thing up. So now the condenser fan motor is ready to go back in. Well, easier said than done. There it goes. So we're going to put this on the Sub-Zero motor, like so. And that's it. This, by the way, this tool is available from Weytec, W-E-Y-T-E-K, I believe it's called. It's a Molex extraction tool. Great tool to have. All right, let's continue. Okay, so we're going to put this little rubber washer on there and spacer and eliminate vibrations. Just to give you two. And then the wing nut. This is the old one. This motor's a little bit different. You see the little pin in there. You line it up with that pin right there. Put the new nut on here. Wire in the way. There you go. Let's turn it that way. So you can see by the pitch of the blade, it's scooping the air and pushing it backwards. That's the way it works. Now, this particular motor it says clockwise, so it's looking at it from the back. So it turns this way. Some evaporator motors that we've seen are different, so you have to check. All right, so now we can put this back in and button up this part of the job. I'll use my trusty 1/4 inch extension here. All right. Beautiful. Okay, we'll just use a cable tie. Keep that up there, out of the way. Look at that. Thing is really beat up. Okay, let me just clean this up a little bit. Then we're going to remove the top, and we're going to change the evaporator motor, and then we'll be done. First, we blow it out a little bit. This here, hold that screw in. All right. Alright, that's two down, one to go. Okay, so now we got the condenser fan motor in, the new timer. So now we're going to take the cover off and we're going to replace the evaporator motor at the customer's request. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen these 1/4-inch nuts here. Okay, that's out. As you can see, this is a clockwise motor, turns this way. Okay, let's get this thing set up, the new motor. So what we're going to do here on this motor, since this is a counterclockwise, you see the pole is over here, and that one's there. This is clockwise. You can see by the blade that it's scooping the air, pushing it back, pulling it through the evaporator. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take off these mounting screws here and very carefully turn this whole thing around, and be careful, there's some usually a bushing in there or a spacer. This is the back. Just leave that just like that. Now take the front off. A little spacer right there. Turn this around. Put it in this way. I'm just going to twist this ground clamp up. Alright. That's it. Now, before you pull the blade off, look how close it is to the bushing. You don't want to put it out too far, it'll hit the evaporator. You pull off the blade, be careful. Take off the bracket. Put the bracket on here, like so. Put the blade back on. The hub goes on the inside on this particular model.
Please charge it in time.
Okay, now we just have to put it back in. Okay, so when you put your fan motor back in there, just make sure that that rubber grommet in the back there is secure. I've seen some of those things come loose, and then the fan comes loose and winds up hitting the evaporator fins. So let me work this in here, and then we'll, I'm not sure about the light, if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing here. The first thing I want to do is get that hub centered. Okay, so we got everything mounted back. Everything's tightened up. The rear of the motor's in the grommet. Front's good. Fan blade is free. Now what I did do, what I did in video was I trimmed about 1/2 inch off the shaft, and I used a carbide cutter, this little tool right here. And you got to be careful because you don't want to put any pressure on that shaft. You could bend it. So I just put the shaft. Show you how I did that. This is crucial. you put the shaft, hold it by the shaft, then cut it. See, now this motor has a little indentation there, so you can break off part of the shaft. But this particular motor didn't have it, so I trimmed it down a little bit. Okay, so now the wires are hooked up. I removed the ground wire. I reattached the evaporator and the plate, and I just have to put this sealer back on here, like so, and then we're going to plug it in to make sure that the fan runs. Okay, there goes the condenser fan motor running. Evaporator fan motor is running. We're good to go. So let me button it back up and then we'll run it and check out the sealed system. Alright, now save the last tightening of those bolts by hand, because you don't want to use a power drill and wind up stripping those bolt holes. You know, you get a better feel if you do this by hand. That's tight. That's tight. Tight. Okay, now that's done, so let's plug it in, let it run. We have a thermometer here. I'm going to measure the temperature, make sure it's pulling down, because we haven't checked the sealed system. Okay, let's block this off here. I'll let that run and I'll get back to you later. We changed the condenser fan motor, the evaporator motor, and the timer, and we ran it, and it wouldn't pull down below 40 degrees. And I only pulled out 1.5 ounces of refrigerant. So we have to get back to the drawing board, put some process ports on here, pressurize it with nitrogen, and see where the leak is, if it has a leak. Okay, my friends, we're just finishing up on this power unit number 9. Just want to do a recap of what we did. We changed the condenser fan motor, put a sub-zero motor in there. We replaced the evaporator fan motor with a GE replacement, and we put a new timer in there. And we also did some sealed system work. We recovered it, we pumped down the compressor, we pressurized it, we checked for leaks. Everything came out well. It's running beautiful right now. It's quiet, and I just shut it off at 16 degrees. It pulled down in 10 minutes. And this is an all refrigerator, so we don't even have to go down that far. So anyway, that concludes this video. We will see you on the next one.